The deserved downfall of Halo. Let's go. Shout out Split Screen. Guy made the video.
Halo used to have over 1 million players online at the same time, and almost 20 years later, and its recent installment struggles to reach the thousands. Things have gotten so bad, the developers in charge went and changed their name. However, there may be a way to come back from all.
I'll tell you why. This is my prediction here. I have, you know, I'll just let me take a step back. They didn't want to keep it with the times, you know. The only BR they wanted was a battle rifle. I think ODST style BR would have definitely helped. I don't think that would have. I think it would have made its life a little bit longer, but I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have. I don't think a BR would have kept Halo on the same like pedestal it's kind of always been on, you know. But I think it would definitely help the longevity of the game. Let's see.
All this with just 3 simple steps.
3 steps, all right.
Before that, how did we get to this point? Halo first launched in 2001 with Combat Evolved, where it revolutionized console gaming. You were immersed in this intense and fun sandbox, fighting the Covenant as a super soldier. This game was received unbelievably well, so what did Bungie do? Well, they followed the same guidelines.
I started off, the first Halo game I had was ODST, and I went to Reach. And then I played 4, and then when Master Chief came out, that's when I finally played the first and second. Oh no, yeah, I went to Reach, and then I think I bought Halo 3, and then Halo 4, and then I played the first and second. Dude, the first one, I'm sorry, but maybe I don't have that nostalgia for it, but the first one is boring. Hold on now. Hold on. Before you put rocks on my train track and derail me. I was constantly getting a headache in that game because they kept putting me in the same room over and over again. And so it wasn't until at the very end of the game I realized that there are arrows on the floor. Because I'm walking into the same room like, yo, I just walked into this room twice. There's no way I'm walking into the same room a third time. But in fact, you are. They put the same room over and over again. You fight through the same fucking room multiple times. All right, that's my crash out for that.
Let's give gamers what they had before, but better. In just 3 years after Combat Evolved, they launched Halo 2. Once again, this revolutionized the entire gaming landscape. This was the reason people had an Xbox, and more importantly,
I never stood outside for a release. I bet you I wouldn't have mind. The only time I've ever stood outside was the Target for some Pokemon cards. But hey, I was never first in line. I was never that desperate, okay? That counts for something. But I feel like it would have been fun to experience one of these times, man. Like outside with a bunch of people waiting for a midnight release. You know, go home, then get online. I bet you that was quite a feeling.
First time ever in Halo, you could join up matchmaking and play against strangers from
Choke
across
on my
the globe.
BR.
Try and rank up alongside your friends with the new ranking system, 1 to 50. Again, Bungie had a hit. These games they were releasing, they were breaking records each time. So what better way to follow up Halo 2 than by following the same exact formula and innovating on ways that made the game better.
Hurry! Pull back now! Any sign of the chief? Negative, sir. I think we lost him.
Not yet.
It's a small bubble
You
shield.
didn't just play Halo 3, you experienced Halo 3. It launched with 5 different modes, tons of different playlists, and of course taking Halo 2's 1 to 50 ranking system that people loved and made it better.
Dude, I miss old ranking systems. And I get, you know, companies won't make their money, the game's free to play. But damn, I'd pay $60 for a non-battle pass, just normal, good old-fashioned, the way Call of Duty and Halo used to do it, rank system.
Their time with Halo was coming to an end though, and they wanted to move on to different projects. However, they had to fulfill their deal with Microsoft and put out 2 more games. First was Halo 3 ODST. It was an extension of Halo 3 that brought an incredible campaign and new mode called Firefight. Then Halo Reach.
It's an awesome little addition to the story. That the whole campaign like takes place like in this like little time window in like Halo 2. It's like takes place at the same time Halo 2 does, you know what I mean? Pretty cool little, like, you know.
It was different, and it's where many people say the beginning of the downfall happened with Halo. It was a class-based system. And with
I don't think
options
it's
of
a downfall of Halo. I
jetpack,
think it's a
decoy,
little
active
different.
camo, and what was
Oh
most
wait, are they
hated,
talking about Reach
armor
now?
lock.
Oh, they're talking about Reach. No, are you kidding me? The downfall of Halo. A lot of people say Reach was the best one. Maybe some hardcore like people like maybe say it's the downfall, but I think Reach is generally held as one of the better one top. Like a lot of times, I feel like people put it like 1 or 2. The customization went crazy on this one, dude, and it wasn't generic. It wasn't generic customizations either. Like.
While these
me
features
chill.
didn't necessarily land too well, the game still felt like Halo. The progression system, it was for some reason also different. Gone was 1 to 50, and in place was a credit system where you earn credits for playing and can purchase armor with those credits.
I still take it. I think it's just as good. Just as good as the normal rank up.
Regardless, looking back on Reach, nowadays it's considered a classic. So, if Bungie's different Halo game was still loved by fans, why aren't 343's? Well, let's break down the beginning and potential end of 343. Why is 343 so hated? 343 Industries was founded in 2007 by Microsoft as an internal studio to manage
liked
the
Halo
Halo
4.
franchise following Bungie's departure. Microsoft realized the huge value in the Halo IP. They knew this fan base had been dedicated
Really, what this translates to is they knew they could milk some motherfuckers for some money.
to our guy Chief for over a decade, and who better than 343, a company named in reference to 343 Guilty Spark, a character who betrays Master Chief in the trilogy. There was one issue though. Bungie didn't
He named the company after the motherfucker that betrays you. So ironic, dude. Oh my god, that's actually,
Leave them-
now that I think about it, that's so funny.
much to work with. 343 had to rebuild all of their internal tools from scratch, meaning they had to recreate things like AI behavior, physics, and multiplayer systems all leading up to their first mainline game. It sounds overwhelming, so they started off small. The first project they released was an anniversary edition of Halo Combat Evolved, the game that kickstarted our love for this series. It had updated graphics, Xbox Live co-op, and even some teases for Halo 4. Yet despite this game seeming to be an easy slam dunk, it got mixed reviews from the fans. They didn't give it any multiplayer that was missing from the original, and the campaign's overhauled graphics were either
What the hell? It looks like a different shade of armor is about the only thing. The only thing I feel like is different is a shade. Look, light here, no light here. Like they just changed the lighting.
hit or miss. Music and sound effects were also remastered, which just didn't live up to the classic game. Regardless, we cut them a break because it's all about what they're gonna show us they're capable of in their first big project, Halo 4.
Alright guys, my opinion on Halo 4, don't tweak out on me. Stay on board. Just don't leave. Don't stay on board, okay? It's a free ride. Here's your ticket. Just stay on board.
Yet for some, it was their last project, as this game turned a lot of classic fans away from the series they held so close to their heart. When we spoke about Bungie, they followed the same format for each game. It was a recipe, and a recipe that people had been coming back for
Let me just hold on.
years. However, now, they ordered the same thing, but it was entirely different. The graphics were overhauled with Chief wearing new armor, the environments were different, and
Yeah, the new armor. What they say is like nanotech or something to upgrade his armor while he was sleeping. Oh shit.
oh, the entire campaign was different. Chief was more so silent in the original games. He had spoken very few words, which meant they carried
Hey, he was frozen for a long time. Master Chief had to catch up on all the yapping, dude. He went on a yapping spree.
more weight as
He had to
fight
catch
on through
up.
the Covenant, but in Halo 4, Chief had quite a bit of dialogue and a deeper emotional arc with Cortana, all while he fought the Prometheans. Gone were the
Hey, I think we know why he had a deeper connection with Cortana in this one. You can talk from now on. Mike is yours. No? Anyways, he's your main character. I think he had a good amount of lines, and I think it was a natural amount of lines. It didn't feel out of place at all.
Covenant and instead this new and annoying to fight enemies. The campaign had mixed reviews to say the least, but okay, that's fine. The majority of people who spent years on Halo spent that in multiplayer. That's what gets us to keep coming back, but not this one. You see, in the original games, everyone loved it because the matches were fair. Everyone started off the game with the same exact weapons and loadout. You fought each other to get power weapons and gain map control. But not in Halo 4. For the first time ever, 343 introduced us to classes.
I really liked Halo 4 multiplayer. I think Halo 4 had the best player movement.
Now you can make your loadout whatever you want. In Reach, Sprint was an ability just like Armor Lock and the Jetpack. You couldn't have both. Yet in Halo 4, Sprint was the new feature, enabled by default. Additionally, in your loadout, you could select an armor ability. If you didn't like your loadout, don't worry, you could call in an ordnance drop.
I wasn't too big on the ordinances. I didn't like them. I think when someone got the saw, it was just kind of like, well, shit, you know? Cut me up.
Essentially like a kill streak from Call of Duty that comes in and drops you an over...
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, though. Now that I think about it, yeah, I guess not too bad. Like a kill streak, yeah. I mean, even though you just kind of get it over time, kind of.
Powered weapon, which, speaking of Call of Duty, this was the first time we'd seen a Halo franchise try and copy someone else, chasing a trend instead of setting it. Did we have 1 to 50 in this game? No. Well, what about the Reach progression system? We absolutely loved 1 to 50 and weren't sure why it was even changed to begin with. Although, we did understand that Reach was a prequel to the Chief story, so maybe it fit to have that credit system. Halo 4 had neither. Instead, it was a Call of Duty-like experience-based system. The more you played, win or lose, you ranked up and you could get new perks. There was no way of measuring a play...
I think this is where the armor kind of dropped off. I think Halo Reach had peak armor. Every like armor thing was different. Whereas like when you start looking at Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite, like I feel like every armor upgrade, you just kind of don't really look different. You know what I mean? Like you kind of just look the same. Like other than your helmet, like other than having like the Rhino helmet or something, it's like I feel like everyone's armor just generally looked the same. You know what I mean? Whereas like Halo Reach is like you could have a knife on there. You could have these big bulky shoulder pads or like these little ones that stick out. I don't know. I think the way that it kind of blended in Halo 4, 5, and 6, it was almost unnoticeable like what you really had on. Whereas Halo Reach, I think everything kind of stuck off a little bit more and gave it a little bit more of like a unique look to each kind of different set of armor.
Player skill, as there wasn't even a skill-based ranking system. The worst part, they knew people didn't like
Yeah, that's the helmet I'm talking about. That's like the only helmet that really sticks out.
this, and time after the game was already dying out, they added 1 to 50. Except, it was only available to see in the Halo Waypoint app, trying to bait us all in for their own good.
That's
they
whack.
knew what people wanted, and just didn't do the right thing. Halo 4 died out a lot faster than any other Halo.
I will say this about Halo 4. I played the hell out of... Dude, I was making anything you can think of in Halo 4 Forge, dude. We'd build a giant ramp, right? And I'd have, like, everything spawning on the ramp, tumbling down the ramp, and me and, like, my brother would sit at the bottom of the ramp and just try not to get hit by a freaking Wrath or, like, a Warthog that comes tumbling down this big-ass metal ramp. We built so much in that. It was fun. I made so many different things, man. I love the Forge mode.
But we still held out hope for this company. All they needed was to listen to what we wanted. The blueprint is in the previous games that worked. Halo fans understood that the series needed to evolve, and that's just natural in the world of gaming. However, this wasn't an evolution. This was changing things for the sake of changing things, and we made it clear that we did not like it. Yet all the hating on Halo 4 came to...
They didn't change it just to change it. Mr. Crowd mode activated. They changed that for some money.
a stop when they announced this. This could be it. This has the chance to not only be the best thing 343 has put out, but the best thing any developer had put out ever. I mean, it's literally just a collection of the best games ever, so how could it fail? We all got the game at midnight, booted it up, ready to relive the best days of our lives, until...
The more I look at this, the more I get confused. $find game.
What the hell is that? I didn't get Master Chief when it came out. I got that thing like fairly quite some time after it came out.
Text at the bottom left. Apparently, I'm trying to search for a multiplayer lobby on the Pillar of Autumn. A single player
What the hell? They got everything. It's just a blend of everything in the game.
level of Halo 1.
It's been 20 minutes. 20 minutes of searching. Nothing.
Damn,
Not a
that's
single match.
rough.
You gotta be f***ing kidding me.
That's gotta be frustrating.
The Master
Yep,
Chief
I know that
Collection is
sound.
arguably the biggest disaster of a game launch. Granted, it finally gave us 1 to 50 back using Halo 2's system, but you didn't even get to experience it because you could not find a match. If you were
Well, you can't find a match now because the game's mostly dead. The only lobbies I can get into is a freaking Halo 3 lobby where I'm getting ragdoll. Raw dog, ragdoll, whatever you want.
lucky enough to be able to, it would probably have taken you
Because the people playing Halo 3 right now, they never got off the game. And then I'm getting in there and it's just, I'm getting in there and then they're getting in me. You know what I mean? Shit.
upwards of 30 minutes. Teams were unbalanced, matches would glitch out, players would get booted, and hell, you'd get a temporary 5-minute ban if you quit. So many things in this game didn't work, and us classic fans felt left behind yet again.
Best thing we could get. And my game froze.
This was
I think I can't remember if I said it or not, but I got a Master Chief Collection after I think everything was fixed on it. And it was great. I loved it.
supposed to be our game, our hangout spot for those classic memories.
I was finally able to play the first 2 Halos.
Again, we brushed it off because hey, 343 outsourced these games. Sure, they failed as a developer to get the game in a decent spot until quite literally years after that, but whatever. It was for a good reason, right? Because they were working on their next game which would correct what we didn't like in Halo 4, right? Sadly, not in the slightest. But here's where it gets a little muddy. There are some people, even classic fans, who say Halo 5 was great. Then there's fans on the other side who thinks it's the worst Halo out. However, let's dive into the game as a whole, as it launched 3 years after Halo 4. After that game, you'd think they learned some lessons. Classic fans who built the
I was not a big fan of Halo 5. The campaign was nice. I wasn't big on the thrusters. I did not like thrusting around. Overall, the campaign was all right. It was fun. It was a 4-player co-op campaign, so I liked that. I hated the firefight mode, dude. The Halo 5 in firefight mode. Let me tell you why it was the worst. Absolutely, because it's like 8 people in the firefight. It just becomes like a blood hunt. You know what I mean? You got 8 people. It's not like hold on and try to survive. It's unlimited lives and 8 people running around, and you can get vehicles and anything you want really at any time, right? As long as you got the cards on you from the mystery box or whatever, mystery box from the packages. But it was just like everyone's just like trying to get as many kills as they can because it's just like a blood hunt. You know what I mean? I couldn't stand it. Like I want that Halo Reach feel. I'm back to the court. Like I don't want like charge, go. Oh, I died. Respawn. Go. Oh, I died. Terrible. Halo 5 did a terrible firefight. I can't stand the firefight.
this franchise don't like these crazy features. We like simplicity, a good ranking and progression system, and having some fun with friends. Yet this game was far from the classic experience. Gameplay was so different, introducing features like a thrust, the ability to clamber,
What year did Halo 5 come
stabilize
back? I can't remember what it said.
scoping your gun, ground pound, and now you can even scope in with any weapon. It made the game a lot faster, but it was too much. Why take a simple game and overcomplicate it when nobody asked?
Yeah, I'm not big on some games that are like super fast. Like Call of Duty's getting faster and faster and faster. It's like the faster the game is, the faster I lose brain cells playing it.
To mention, the campaign is said to be the worst Halo campaign in the series. Instead of playing as
I want to say it. I think Halo 5 campaign. If you ask me, play Halo 1 again or play Halo 5 campaign again, I'm picking Halo 5 again. I'm sorry.
Master Chief, the missions were split
Actually, I'm not
between him
sorry.
and another Spartan who we'd never met, named Locke. He was Hunting Chief, you know, the guy who'd been a hero for literally all of our lives. So here we were yet again, fighting these boring Prometheans and, for some reason, Master Chief. Although Although the issues of this game were deeper than all of these, and it falls into
Yeah, people laughing after the
this game
fight
didn't
scene.
have split screen nor campaign co-op for the first time in the franchise ever. A staple feature, might I add. Playlists in multiplayer were lackluster, with a ton of fan favorites missing. Forge was delayed, which was crazy because it literally launched for the first
I tried. I'll wait till we get to Infinite.
time
I tried Halo Forge and Infinite. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't have that time to sit there and dilly dally around with it. But I just felt like the Forge was just kind of exhausting to even do. I don't know.
ever in Halo 3 flawlessly. And again, for the first time ever in the Halo series, we were introduced to microtransactions. Combine this with the fact they did nothing to cater to the pre-existing fans of the series, it's no surprise that yet again, the numbers rapidly dropped. With those numbers, people lost more and more faith.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious by this point. 343 had no interest in doing right by the people who not only supported Halo from the start, but stuck by 343 through all of these awful moments. They didn't want to do right by us. It was almost like they wanted us to forget what we had.
I think a lot of times these games get really caught up in just trying to. I know this contradicts what I say a little bit, like with me talking about how they should have a BR when we made last song, but they get really. I mean, I guess not. They get really caught up in just trying to make money. Battle Pass makes money. Loot boxes make money. You know, that's what every company really wants. You know. I think I said about something else that they don't care if you're happy or not playing the game. They just want you to spend money on it.
Get what we loved and instead support their new vision for Halo.
And I don't
But the
think
thing
it's
is,
ever going to go back
Halo
to
wasn't
that.
Bungie's.
For
It
any of
wasn't
these really
343's.
big
It was
multiplayer
ours.
games, you
The
know,
whole
you're going to get that. You're going to get that on single player games, you know, like Elden Ring and Black Myth Wukong and all these things where it's not a big, you know, battle pass online. You're going to get that experience, but you're not going to get that experience online. You know what I mean?
community. In an interview, the creator of Halo's multiplayer stated that Halo first started as a party game. That was its initial intent.
We tried something completely new, which is this party system. You and your friends kind of combine together, so you can jump from game to game to game to game, and you and your friends will always be together.
A game you could boot up with friends and hang out, fight some people,
Yeah.
win matches, and have
Yeah, ask Bungie that question now.
fun. All three games in the trilogy stuck by this rule and had so many features that supported it. Remember these as we get to 343's latest game, as it's something they completely forgot
Yeah,
about.
they
that's
just-
going
they
to
just
be their
start talking about
downfall.
beauty.
Let's look at Halo 3.
We want the
for
game to look
example.
good.
Immediately as you get in the game, you could press Y, one button, and view your friends list. Easily invite whoever you wanted to the game, where you could press one button yet again and see their service record. Were they good? Were they bad? Either way, it didn't matter because you had 1 to 50, the greatest ranking system that made it fun to play with your friend even if they did suck.
Yes! Fuck yes! Fucking best day of my fucking life. First 50.
As you load into a match, you and your team could
Oh,
talk and
hell
see if you
no.
want to veto the map, maybe get a new one if you didn't like the current one. However, you better choose wisely because if you lost, you're thrown into a post-game lobby with the enemy team where you can either trash talk or say good game.
Way to go, tryhards. You're not good. You have a 55.
This is a vibe. I never experienced
If you
this
liked your
vibe,
teammates or
but
maybe had a good conversation, that post-game lobby allowed you to click one button yet again and you're partied up with them.
dude, that is so great, man. I really wish they had this stuff. Every time you do a game, man, it just puts you in a totally new lobby. It's like they completely forget that people play. Most people play multiplayer. I mean, obviously you're playing for other like people you're playing with, but you know, if you have that kind of connection, whether it's good or bad, it keeps you in those multiplayer matches. If this dude teabags me every time he kills me, and I'm continuously game after game play with him, I'm staying in that game. I'm playing that game longer. You know what I mean? Like say Poppy Scope over there teabags me every time, doing me dirty, dude. I'm not leaving that lobby till I get even. You know, I'm not getting off the game till I get even. But every time I come back, I'm out here with somebody new. It's like, well, whatever. You know, you lose that game to game connection. You know, when they constantly randomize it every single time.
Instantly, not only are they on your team, but you're back searching again. Just like that, you probably made a new lifelong friend. Now you can go grind to get that 50, or hey, even kick back and just chill in some social playlists. Looking back on it now, it's crazy to think how good we had it, yet we all thought we were gonna somehow get that back when 343 revealed Halo Infinite.
Talk about I'll say this. How long ago? Halo Infinite had the worst campaign. Tell me I'm wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. I'm gonna put something on my toilet so every time I sit down and take a shit, it makes that sound now. Cause that's how bad this game was.
That was the Chief we knew. He looked like how he used to, and the graphics looked amazing. Even the gameplay looked amazing, and it was. It truly felt like the evolution of what Halo 3's gameplay was. There were some funky items like the grapple shot, but
I couldn't stand a grapple. I said this about Fortnite, and I'll say it right now about this grapple shot. I can't stand movement items like that. I just don't like them. You know, I'm not big on them. And I know that's why I don't play some games where it's like I'm zipping around and all this stuff.
This game, it worked. Could this really be it? The comeback of Halo and potential redemption of 343 Industries? Unfortunately,
Dude, I got so much to say about Halo
and we
Infinite.
felt betrayed yet again. They got everything right with the gameplay, but when they launched the multiplayer, there were only a few maps, making every playlist feel repetitive. Not to mention,
100%. I got... Dude, I don't know how you fumbled it. It is mind-boggling how bad they fumbled just the multiplayer. I can't even do a simple freaking like free-for-all or a Slayer mode. It was wild.
Only 3 playlists. Remember how many Halo 3 had? Crazy enough, this is only the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, literally.
This introduced a battle pass into Halo for the first time ever. In theory, it really could be cool, but guess what? This was the only way
it up too.
to rank up. There was no progression system at all. Literally none. It was only to build up your battle pass, which...
Dude, leveling up was so painfully hard, dude. Literally the reason I stopped playing that game. I mean, everything is the reason I stopped playing it. It took forever to level up. I couldn't work. I had no armor to work towards. I had a season pass and I maybe had one piece of armor I wanted in there. And was it worth it? No. Not when I have to have the same, not when I can't even customize my own color.
Which, hey, you could spend the $20 and get max tier, so then you'd be done for that season. So barely...
I mean, that's literally worth it. $20 to get max tier? I mean, you can go out and do some like freaking DoorDash for an hour or two, or you can grind for like 3 weeks. 24/7.
Any maps, barely any modes, and no way to level up. Why would you want to keep playing this game? Well, most didn't. In Halo 5, they adopted the CSR ranking system, where you play 5 games, get your placement division, and level up from there. This system was back in Halo Infinite, which many classic fans argue that it's simply not as rewarding and not as fun. However, Halo Infinite
I never
was
cared much
drowned in
for
issues
rank.
that this didn't even really matter. Forge wasn't added until the...
I didn't care too much for Forge mode. I kind of dipped out of Forge at Halo 4. I didn't do it at Halo 5. Yeah, no co-op split screen was kind of wild, man.
winter update a year after the game's release. The campaign got delayed a ridiculously long time, and not to mention, it had tons of cut content for what could have been an incredible story. Despite taking 6 years to develop, the game felt rushed. And for us old school fans, we felt, yeah.
The Halo campaign was absolutely garbage, and I'll tell you why right now. Halo Infinite had a garbage campaign because Halo is a story-driven game. It is heavily story-driven. The journey of Master Chief. When you do an open world, I'm gonna sit up for this one. You got me pissed now. When you do an open world, you cannot have the correct fluidness of a storytelling campaign. It's not going to happen. You got all these little side quests. You know, let me do the side quest here. you know, and it's like you can't have that perfect fluidity in an open world game for storytelling. Not happening. Sorry. And that's what Halo's always been good at, is storytelling. You know what I mean? It's like that's the reason to play the campaign. The open world was it's a nice concept. It's, you know, nice. Oh, that's cool. It just did not work for the campaign.
Yeah, betrayed. Halo Reach began the downfall, Halo 4 continued it, Halo 5 innovated on features that didn't work, but Halo Infinite fixed a lot of it, but got every single other thing wrong. Let me quickly rattle off the things 343 removed from their games that we had in classic Halo. Dual wielding, a pre-game lobby, a post-game lobby, map vetoing, playable elites, hell, even customizing the color of your Spartan.
The no color was the most. I never would have thought that they wouldn't have had customizable. Okay, the armor, fine. You want to put it behind a paywall, whatever. Like, I'm not surprised at this point with everything else, every other game doing this stuff. But the color is next level greedy, man.
You now.
It's like you're never gonna find. If I want a blue and orange combination, I'm never gonna find it. I'm never gonna get that. You know, you want a certain, I mean, you're not going to get that. You can do so many. Look at that freaking wheel over there, dude. So many different types of color. You can't access that. If you want to, just give me the color wheel. Give me free range of the color wheel for like $8, whatever. I can fully customize my own color wheel. I don't have to buy a stupid ass color wheel. I don't have to buy a color. Just give me a blank palette of color wheel and let me customize the whole thing myself for $8. I would have gotten it. I care more about the color than the actual armor, because at this point, all the armor kind of looked the same anyway. So it was like, okay, whatever. It was still disappointing, but the color was like really like a nail in the coffin. I don't know. For me personally, because like I play, even though I know it's a first person game, you know, especially with the beginning cutscenes and the end cutscenes to every multiplayer match where they're showing like a group of people, you know, it's like, I want to see my guy.
No need to pay for colors. How did they get it so wrong when we've been telling them for years exactly what we want? The thing that confuses the community the most is Halo 3 was a record-breaking game. It went on for so many years, having millions playing each day. Hell, even 1 million on at one time. Nothing in this game necessarily needed changing. And yeah, you could argue Reach changed a bit.
I mean, if you don't change your game, you're just putting a copy and paste game out every year. You know what I mean? If they made Halo 4 exactly like Halo 3, all you really did was update, they would be complaining about, you're feeding me the same slop over and over again. It's the same game every time, you know? So it's like, you gotta change a little bit of it. But some of the stuff is just like, why would you change that? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
The gameplay was still fine. Truly, the only thing they changed was removing 1 to 50. The social aspect of Halo was still there. Pre- and post-game lobbies and your rank shown on your account so everyone can see the time you put in. Why did they change so much after Bungie left? And instead of going back when everyone and the numbers showed that they didn't like it, they pushed harder to change more. Then they finally get it right after years of slapping us in the face, and we get an unfinished game that just gets repetitive. After years of updates, the game is in a much better space. I mean, it took them until Season 4, which was 1 year, 6 months, and 12
I don't care.
days
The game's
game
toast.
launched, but
There was no fixing that. They're talking about how the engine for the game they made just for the game is cooked. They couldn't change stuff because the engine is cooked. It's like, look, Battlefront 2, EA brought the game back after a long time of work. I'm sorry, it was gone for, you know what I mean? Like they took Halo Infinite and they threw it off the bridge. Right? But it's like they didn't have anything tied to it. Where it's like Battlefront 2, like they had a rope tied to him. So when they threw him off the bridge, they pulled him back up and, you know, made it better. And that Halo Infinite is just gone.
a progression system was added. Sadly, even this is repetitive. You go through the same exact ranks, just in different colored tiers. Ask yourself, how much different does silver and platinum look?
Oh my god.
Halo had went from creating the trends to following the trends, and whether or not it's 343 that just doesn't care, or maybe not having enough resources, the fact is, they're failing us. They have not given the core audience, which are the classic fans.
It's that storytelling, dude. When you see these images, Arbiter yelling, it's like, I already know where I'm at in the story, man. I already know, like, the emotions I felt during that story, you know? And it's like Halo Infinite, think about the storyline. At what part did you feel like you had emotional connection to the storyline? Even Halo 5, you could have a little bit of like, you know, emotional connection to it. Even though it wasn't that great, you could still have that. Halo Infinite, boom, nothing. All I think about was fucking driving around open world.
Fans who've been craving something resembling the product we once loved, a sliver of what we want. Somehow, there are quite a bit of 343 defenders out there who maybe only know games like Halo 4 and on, so they always think it's nostalgia when we say the older games are better. However, after Halo Infinite, 343 got so much backlash even from the 343 fans that they were forced to change their name to Halo Studios. The reputation of 343 Industries was so tainted,
They literally pulled a 343 guilty spark and shot us in the back.
nobody wanted to be associated with it. So the question of this all is, what can Halo Studios do right in the next game to win people back? Halo needs 1 to 50. As we see nowadays,
It's gone. That's just unrealistic. They're not going to give you a 1 through 50. Money. It's just unrealistic. If you really want to bring Halo back, as I'm trying to think, first you can't do an open world campaign. You can't do dude, the campaign. Oh my god, that's what I was gonna say. You dumped me, dude. Halo Infinite was gonna be like the culmination of like a 3-way army, right? It was gonna be UNSC, AI, and then the Banished, right? Big fight about to come up, right? Halo Infinite takes place after the big climax fight. What the fuck? You had me years leading up to like a big 3-way battle in Halo Infinite, right? I thought this shit was gonna cook, man. A big 3-way battle in an open world. Oh, that's gonna be dope. Psych, bitch. Guess what? You play the campaign after everything is done. After you're stranded on a busted up ring. I think the Halo Infinite campaign is the thing that just like, it burns me up the most. That is the singular worst thing they did for Halo Infinite was the campaign. No emotional tie to it, open world, nothing.
does not take risks anymore. They do what works for other games, which is the CSR system. Matchmaking used to be unique in the way it did their ranks, and it was loved. So why not go back to that and let us display the big bold 50 across our profile? In Halo Infinite today, you can't even view another person's rank unless you go through a bunch of clicking to get to that.
I wish you could still see their ranks up. That's pretty cool.
In the lobby, and even
but they're not going to give you a free 1v50, my
doesn't show
guy.
the right rank most of the time. Let us have the ability to click a button and see another person's stats. You will never know who you're going up against, which brings me to the next thing that they need to do: lobbies. Pre-game and post-game lobbies created such an interesting and social atmosphere for Halo. You'd meet friends, you'd make enemies,
I hate when
but
people do
it
that
was all
shit.
in good faith. Sometimes Halo used to feel like a...
The lobbies will help any game. Call of Duty, Halo, whatever lobby-based game multiplayer. It helps it. And I already went over that. I already went over that early in the video.
hangout spot, but nowadays, it's gone. You aren't put into a pre-game lobby, you're thrown right into the game, which, yeah, like I said, means no map though.
Because they don't want... I know what it is. This method that they're doing makes people not stay in the game. I think it's literally they don't want players talking to each other because of bullying or something like that. Smack talk. I don't know. I really don't know. Harassment. Maybe they don't want this, right?
After the game, there's no hanging around to trash talk or say good game. You're put in your own lobby, all by yourself. It's why these newer games feel so isolated. Compare that to the older games that feel like you had a party going on every single night. And lastly, launch and completion. Again, Halo follows the trends of live service games. This gives them an excuse to put out their games and drip feed content over time.
Brother, the thing is that Halo didn't even drip feed content. They drip feed like juicy diarrhea.
Clearly this hasn't worked, with so many players having
They gave us a toilet and then they drip fed us shit. Literally.
left. Yet if those same players played the game how it is now, it feels entirely different. Rely less on the fear of missing out to get players to play your game, and instead, put out a good game that makes us want to come back. If you do that, I promise you, we will.
Channel's called Split Screen. a little more subscribers than me. Actually, like really good content. Like I was actually really surprised. I was like, oh, how many subscribers is this? How many views? I was like, oh shit. I mean, I know that this video came out 2 days ago and this topic has been beat to death, but I really liked it. A really good video.